Hello parents, this is Mr. Andrew Hansen. If you're receiving this video, it is because I have one of your students for my college writing class 102. I just wanted to give all of you some preliminary information so you would kind of know what's to expect in this class and what your students can expect. Um, One of the first things, I teach through the College of Southern Idaho, so CSI. Um, we will be doing this in class, but if a student wants to get a jump on it to just save themselves some time, um, they will need to, if they have not already taken a class through CSI, they will need to apply. If they have already taken a class, they will need to remember their password to register for my class. Just assuming that they haven't taken a class through CSI before, they apply and then they go apply as a dual credit student. So I think all of that's pretty laid out, pretty straightforward. It is much simpler than it used to be. Um, they will want to register for my class, which is English M63D. They can look up Hansen as well. But if they have issues being stuck on that, I can help them find it. They will also need to apply for funding, which I think the school has made contacts with all of you about. I don't know a ton about that, aside from that they need to do it. If they don't have any funds, it's something that they pay out of pocket. But this should be the last writing class that they need to take unless they go into something that's more writing heavy. Um, okay, so that is kind of the preliminaries of the university. Just a few things for my class, just so you can have an idea. The students will be writing 3 papers for me. Now, in 101, I think they had some general writing principles that they covered. Maybe they did some things with comparison or narrative. In this class, we're doing a heavier focus on argument and the way that authors structure their papers and arguments. So the first unit that we're going to have is it's going to be around the idea of rhetorical grammar. And mostly this is teaching students about choices that they can make with how they use syntax. We'll be studying different authors and thinking about how they make effects by how they choose to write something. And then the first paper is going to be based on that idea. They're going to be making an analysis of an author, of the choices that he or she makes. So that will be paper 1. Paper 2, we are going to amp this up where they look at the arguments that an author makes, where they analyze what sort of things that they do, what things they might leave out. So we're going to be looking at a textbook for that called Asking the Right Questions. And it's just basically a way of rhetorically analyzing just different arguments and thinking about how information is presented to us and where we should make judgments. So that'll be paper 2, an analysis of a work that way. And then paper 3 is where they create their own argument. So it's going to be kind of a combination of how they structure their ideas and then areas where they might, choose a sort of evidence that would be appropriate for their situation. So that'll be paper 3, and that's it. There will be grades in the interim for like reading assignments. We will do reflections. We might even read a novel in the class. Other things that I might have them do. There's a site called ED Puzzle. On this one, I would post a video for them, usually as a preliminary before a discussion. So usually something pretty short. They watch it, and anytime you come to a timestamp with like the water droplet here, they would have to answer a question. Some of them might be multiple choice or open-ended, but usually that will be just for kind of a open, like, let's introduce this idea so that they have something to talk about when we are introducing concepts. We also have what's called no red ink. We will spend a lot of time practicing grammar in this class just because of the nature of the first assignment. But this one will be a little practice. Oftentimes I see repetitive mistakes in writing from students, so I usually will assign things in this as far as let's practice, using commas this way, recognizing how to use it. This is something they do on their own, but I think it's a nice way to supplement for this without spending an ample amount of time in class in general. So those are things that they can look forward to. Anyways, I think that's about all I have. I will share my syllabus with you that you can review it more carefully if you'd like. Um, but otherwise, I'm very excited to have your class. It's a very big one. Um, oh, and I do need to apologize. You probably heard from your students today that I didn't show up for the first class. As I said before, I teach out of Hillcrest, and we did not have students today, and I just assumed that Bonneville would not. So they called me this morning and said, "You're not in your class, Mr. Hanson." So I apologize for that. I will be there, as scheduled, unless I have a sub every other day. So I am excited to work with your students. As I said, there's quite a few of them. So um, I do want to take the time appropriate to give everyone appropriate feedback. So that might take a little bit longer than usual with how many I have, but I am excited to get this rolling out and work with these students. So again, if you have questions, you can shoot me a message through school status, or you can find my email address on the district webpage. But otherwise, that's all I have. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.